Want to lose weight fast? Alternate day fasting might seem like the perfect solution, but a recent study reveals a hidden drawback that could sabotage your fitness goals: muscle loss. Even adding a protein shake on fasting days might not be enough to protect your hard-earned muscle mass. But here's where it gets controversial: is the trade-off worth it? A groundbreaking study, published in the journal Nutrients, https://www.mdpi.com/2072-6643/17/23/3691, rigorously examined the effects of alternate day fasting, ADF, on body composition, with and without protein supplementation. The research team aimed to determine if this popular weight loss strategy truly delivers on its promises, and if extra protein could mitigate any potential downsides. Why is this research so important? Well, consider this: globally, a staggering 44% of adults are overweight, and another 16% are classified as obese. The numbers are similarly alarming in Singapore, with approximately 41% overweight and 14% obese. To combat this growing health crisis, numerous weight loss strategies have emerged, and intermittent fasting, IF, has captured significant attention. IF, in general, involves cycling between periods of eating and voluntary fasting, often lasting 16 to 20 hours each day, and has been lauded for its potential benefits to metabolic and cardiovascular health, as well as improvements in lipid profiles. Think of it as giving your body a regular reset period. Alternate day fasting, ADF, is a specific type of intermittent fasting where you alternate between feeding days and fasting days every 24 hours. Now, unlike some stricter forms of fasting, ADF typically allows for a small meal, usually around 400 to 600 calories, during the fasting days. This makes it a bit more manageable for some people. Previous studies have suggested that ADF can lead to reductions in body mass, fat mass, body mass index, BMI, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, BP, and triglyceride levels. That sounds pretty good, right? And this is the part most people miss. Despite these potential benefits, a nagging concern remains: the potential for muscle loss. And, crucially, it's been unclear whether simply adding protein to the diet can effectively prevent this muscle breakdown. To address this critical question, researchers designed a study to investigate whether short-term ADF has beneficial effects on body composition and, more importantly, whether a higher protein intake can preserve muscle during weight loss. They recruited Asian males aged 21 to 35 with a BMI greater than 23 kilograms per square meter, indicating they were overweight, who were non-smokers and didn't use tobacco products. Participants with pre-existing health conditions that could be worsened by fasting, or those unable to adhere to the dietary and physical activity requirements, were excluded to ensure the study's integrity. The lucky, or perhaps not so lucky, participants embarked on a 4-week ADF protocol. The protocol started at 12 a.m., alternating between fasting and feeding days in 24-hour cycles. On fasting days, they were limited to water or zero-calorie beverages and that single small meal of 400 to 600 calories, consumed between 12 o'clock and 2 p.m. On feeding days, however, they were given free rein to eat and drink as they pleased. Body composition, including muscle mass and body fat percentage, was carefully assessed before and after the 4-week intervention using bioelectrical impedance analysis, a non-invasive method for estimating body composition. In addition to body composition, the researchers also tracked resting blood pressure and fasting blood glucose, FBG, levels weekly. Physical activity levels were monitored using the Global Physical Activity Questionnaire, administered every week, and participants kept detailed dietary records for 2 fasting days each week. To further investigate the role of protein, the team conducted a randomized controlled trial, Study 2. This trial also involved young Asian males, 21 to 35 years old, BMI greater than 23 kilograms per square meter, undergoing a 4-week ADF protocol, but this time, participants were randomly assigned to either a control group or a protein group. The protein group consumed a 25-gram whey protein supplement, 125 kilocalories, on fasting days. Apart from the protein supplementation for the protein group, the rest of the trial mirrored Study 1, including dietary records, GPAQ, health assessments, and laboratory measurements. So, what did they find? The results revealed that while ADF did lead to weight loss and a reduction in body fat, it also resulted in a significant loss of muscle mass. And here's the kicker: the addition of a low-dose whey protein supplement on fasting days didn't prevent this muscle loss. Specifically, Study 1 initially enrolled 20 participants, and Study 2 recruited 26. However, some participants dropped out during the study, leaving a final sample of 37 participants with an average age of 25 years and a BMI of 26.7 kilograms per square meter. During fasting days, participants in Study 1 consumed an average of 525 kilocalories, with 38% of those calories coming from carbohydrates, 37% from fat, and 25% from protein. The protein group consumed 495 kilocalories on fasting days, 34% carbohydrates, 26% fat, and 40% protein, while the control group consumed 533 kilocalories, 46% carbohydrates, 33% fat, and 22% protein. Importantly, hydration status remained consistent throughout both studies. Because there were no significant differences observed between the protein and control groups, the researchers combined the data from both studies for the final analysis. The combined analysis revealed that all body composition measures showed significant reductions after the intervention, including body mass, and fat-free mass, which is primarily muscle. Physical activity levels were also significantly lower at the end of weeks 2 and 3 compared to the start of the study. Diastolic blood pressure and fasting blood glucose levels showed temporary improvements, but these changes were short-lived and didn't persist by the end of the study. Systolic blood pressure remained unchanged. The study's key takeaway is that short-term ADF leads to significant reductions in body mass and fat mass, but it also results in a concerning loss of muscle mass. Furthermore, increasing protein intake through a low-dose whey protein supplement during fasting days was not sufficient to prevent this muscle loss. Think of it as taking one step forward and one step back. The researchers acknowledged that the protein intake on fasting days remained below the recommended daily levels, and the differences in total protein intake between the protein and control groups were relatively small. They also point out that protein intake on feeding days was not monitored, which could have influenced the results. These limitations may explain why the protein supplementation failed to preserve muscle mass. This research highlights the need for further investigation into strategies to mitigate muscle loss during ADF. Future studies could explore the efficacy of higher doses of protein, or even specific amino acids like leucine, during both fasting and feeding days. Furthermore, combining protein supplementation with resistance training could be a more effective approach to preserving or even improving muscle mass during weight loss. So, what does this mean for you? If you're considering alternate day fasting for weight loss, it's crucial to be aware of the potential for muscle loss. This study suggests that simply adding a protein shake on fasting days may not be enough to protect your muscles. More research is needed to determine the optimal strategies for preserving muscle mass while reaping the benefits of ADF. Is the rapid weight loss worth the potential muscle loss? What strategies have you found effective for preserving muscle while dieting? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.